Actually, I think even being given this in this moment is emotional. And I'm trying to understand why.
We have been reflecting on where our country is today. It got us thinking about the American flag and what it symbolizes. We sat down with some of our leaders of the LGBTQ plus community to hear their thoughts. This is what they told us.
Depending on how the United States feels about you will depend on how you feel about the flag. If you're a person that feels like you belong, that you've been embraced, then you'll wave it with pride. If you feel like your people have been killed, wronged, been able to be seen as less than human under the flag, you're gonna be triggered by it, but yet still be born under it. And that is really the plight, the existence of being someone who is seen as a less than in a country that you were born into.
For decades, homosexuality was considered a mental illness in the United States.
The bar patrons who rioted in Greenwich Village after a routine police raid on a gay bar, the Stonewall Inn, in June of 1969.
In a group across the United States, maybe more.
What does the American flag symbolize to you?
When you walk past a house that has an American flag stoked in the yard, your immediate thought as a queer person is, I am not welcome here. That it's a sign of bigotry, and it's a sign of fear. And how sad is that?
I looked up and I saw, in one of the neighbors' yards, like a flag. And I did kind of stop and think, like, why, when I see an American flag, do I think of like MAGA and right wing? And why do I feel like it's a violent symbol of prejudice and hatred?
I see someone hanging an American flag and I'm like, you would hit me with a car if you had the opportunity.
If I'm on Grindr, right, and I see an American flag emoji in someone's bio, I think that is a Republican.
It's a negative thing to see, and I've definitely had my fair share of talking shit about it, but at the end of the day, there's something back here that still has a reverence.
When I was in elementary school, I remember very vividly learning the Pledge of Allegiance. And in Texas, you not only say the Pledge of Allegiance to, the United States flag, but you also say to the Texas flag. So there's two symbols, right, of identity and belonging.
I remember as a kid when we would pledge allegiance to the flag and coming from a different world, how powerful and how impactful that was to say those words. Now, my family grew up in Haiti. They grew up at a time where there was a dictatorship, and they came here because they wanted that freedom, the freedom to think, the freedom to be who they are, the freedom to be able to vote.
My family's from Iran. I remember going with my grandmother to the federal building when she became a citizen, and I always remember the flag inside the federal building because you know that it's under the gaze of this flag that you have these rights. And so while it started as a certain type of feeling when I was younger, over time it's become something that my family and I would say we're very patriotic in that way.
So my father was the military commander of West Berlin before the wall came down. At its best, this feeling of a nation of immigrants, which is what I love about the U.S. My mom is an immigrant. That immigrants are our strength and our base, and no matter the sins of our early union, there was a goal of you can find your way in this place and a better life, and some people did.
Let me just touch. Yeah. Can you? Of course. I learned about our flag behind the barbed wire fence of an American internment camp, and every morning before school, we will stand and put our hands over our hearts and pledge our allegiance. And I said, with liberty and justice for all. But right outside that window, I saw barbed wire fences and sentry tower keeping us imprisoned.
How do you feel about America today?
Sad.
So I was worried even talking about this because, on one level, I think we're supposed to say, oh, we hate America, but, I love America.
Outraged? My father fought in a war, my grandfather fought in a war, and they fought for our freedoms, our security, our dignity. It seems to me that the flag is being used in a way that wants to take away that from me and girls like me.
The United States today, as I sit here right now, is not like the United States I grew up in. It's a country now that, where citizens have to fear that they won't be able to get back into the country if they go on vacation. That's just citizens broadly. And then if you look at, what kind of citizen are you? You're an immigrant? Are you trans and your documents don't match anything that the government has? Did you protest? Exercise your right to free speech? All these things now, today, as I sit here, are things that could keep people from getting back into the country.
With the recent administration and the passports and the documents, I kind of unfortunately fell into that group of people that, even though we were literally warned that this would happen, I was like, they can't change my passport. And then when I saw Hunter Schafer post that she had her passport changed back, I was like, okay, this is actually happening and this is affecting everyone, and I'm so crazy and ignorant that I thought that it wouldn't affect me.
I think we're at this precipice where we see the erasure of a lot of queer progress happening right before our eyes.
It feels like there's a kind of consolidation of power that is going to make it so that we're continuously under attack, and I think we need to prepare for that. If I talk to my elders, I know that they prepared themselves for that from the very beginning, and so I'm confident we can do it. It's just, I feel like we're under attack right now.
I feel like the fantasy of freedom, is finally collapsing for people who have been really comfortable. And there is a unity that's possible on the other side of that. And it's so terrible now. It's been terrible for so many people, depending on race, gender, and class, that even rich people, even rich white people, are noticing something's wrong. and there is a possibility that grows from that.
The way I feel about the United States right now is a lot of grief, but I also understand that grief is an opportunity for change. And this is the moment when we can all sort of ask ourselves, what are we gonna do? What do we want to do? How do we want to be in the world? How are we gonna save ourselves and save the people around us?
How do I feel about the United States today? She's messy. She's scary. But she's beautiful.
Or the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Now, I don't agree that it is the land of the free and the home of the brave. And I think that singing those words that I've always sang for football games, basketball games, soccer games, to see so many people stand up and cheer and agree on that when it's really not honest, it's not real, it's not built upon truth. I think it's always made me uncomfortable a little bit as a Black queer man to sing it. Though I've sang it, I've, stomached that feeling and that thought.
What the flag really represented, in my opinion, is unity. That's what it. That's why there's the stars on there and the stripes, and they all, the 13 original colonies and the 50 states. And I think that it's a very radical idea in today's climate to imagine going off, for a lot of people, to die for the unity of this country. How are we united? How are we united? What are we united about?
When I think of the American flag, I think of trauma. I think of all the things that my ancestors endured on this land in the United States. And the fact that there's been centuries of missed opportunities to rectify the ills of this country.
I mean, the American flag has blood on it. And it's drenched in it. And either we can accept that or act as if it isn't true. And we can't change what we don't face.
When I see this flag, I think of the gay poet Langston Hughes, who in the 1930s wrote a seminal poem. The first stanza begins, "Let America be America again. America never was America to me." But he ends the poem, "But oh yes, one day America will be." Langston Hughes believed in the future of this country, and he believed in the words in that Constitution, and he believed in the idea embodied in this flag. He knew that in his lifetime, the American ideals would not be recognized for him, a gay black man. But he encouraged all of us and so many others who believed. James Baldwin, Harvey Milk, Bayard Rustin, Edie Windsor, they believed in this flag. We have to honor their legacy and their fight for justice, because this flag belongs to me too.
I haven't seen one of these since I was so young. Holding this is reminding me how early I learned about what American ideals were and how complicated that relationship for me has become as I become an adult and recognize the ways in which the things I was taught were not living up to those ideals.
There's a lot of things to criticize, but no, this place, land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. And we all know that's the distant echo of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Now, I wonder how he felt that question as a straight man. It's true, but when someone asked him, what about the flag? I think he said that America has issued a promissory note that has not been cashed.
And there are far too many people in this country who say that if you are not a straight, white, cisgender male, that this doesn't belong to you. To that I say, bullshit. This is my flag. Not taking it away from me.
How do we reclaim the flag?
Well, I'm going to give you a comedy answer right away. One way to reclaim the flag is to not hand me a flag made in China. I love this flag. This flag is wonderful.
I think first we have to decide it's something worth reclaiming.
I don't know how to reclaim it. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it actually does need an overhaul. Like, as the U.S. expanded, added states, we added stars, maybe there is something that can be done.
Well, you know what? I have to tell you, first of all, one way to reclaim the flag is to acknowledge it, right? I swear to you, I was part of a committee of people who did this event for Obama when he was running. And at the end of the event, I said to someone, should we salute the flag? Because there was a flag. Should we all do the Pledge of Allegiance? And they were like, what? And I was like, why? Why is pledging allegiance only like a sort of right-wing Republican Christian thing? It's just because the word God is in it, maybe. At the same time, it's something that we need to own. You know, we need to own this damn flag.
The American flag is not their flag, you know what I mean? Like, we should be proud of the American flag. I don't know, we're Americans. This is the land of the free, the home of the brave. It might not feel like it right now, but if you just give up and bend over for all these people and then they take the flag, what do we have? If you're an American, like, claim it now. Like, don't give that up. Like, this is totally our shit.
The flag is meant to represent the United States. It would be good for everybody to agree to the principles of the Constitution.
I think we reclaim it by not letting it go and then realizing that this is not just one person's flag, it's everybody's flag who's born here. Just like they think it was promised to them, it is promised to us too. So you don't have to reclaim what's yours, darling.
I think the values that we want to imbue and we want this to stand for feel far from us right now. And rather than like a symbol of safety, I have to say this, I think about what the gay flag means to me and how it communicates this feeling of safety and of being welcome somewhere. And somehow along the way, this flag, this American flag, has been co-opted to make people feel not safe.
What do we do with you, you know? We need so many things to make this little guy feel like it represents all of us.
Yeah, I think it's subversive and it's radical for queer people to take the flag back. When the radical right has taken it as a symbol of their own, it's even more important for us to take that back and to really own it.
At first, I didn't really feel like the flag was for me or like it spoke for me, but ever since the 2024 election, I would say I'm kind of in this stage of like reclamation of it, because me in my identity as a Black LGBTQ woman, I have a right to it just as much as anyone else does. And I think that this flag stands for democracy and stands for everyone. And I would qualify myself as being part of the body called everyone.
I fly it on Veterans Day, fly it on the 4th of July. It's flown enough that some of the red is bled into the white areas. And this red, white, and blue flag has a whole bunch of pink threads in it at this point, just because that's what happens. I want this flag to be about all of our differences coming together in a united way. And that includes queer, that includes skin color, that includes gender identity, that includes religion. We need the strength of everybody in this country.
I think more than ever, we need to show up for our communities. I also need to have grace for people outside of my community, which feels even more challenging. I'm from a family of 10 people, so you can imagine the political spectrum that I'm having conversations about, right? Or we're all having conversations about with our families. And I love my family. I have to talk to my family. And so I don't want to shut down. I don't want to log off. I want to keep the conversation going.
I do think it's probably an important thing for us to get back and to actually hold it in our hands with pride and actually present that as something we believe in. And I don't know why we don't, other than, I guess, fear.
In so many ways, the flag represents like power in numbers. And the only thing that I can think about in reclaiming our rights and the flag is for us to come together. And at this point, we just have to be loud. They're very loud right now. And I don't know if we're being that loud.
I just think the only way for us to get back to a place where this can represent something warm and free and safe. I think safety is the biggest thing. There's gonna have to be a lot more fight in us than there is right now.
How can we reclaim this? By, in the Gay Pride Parade, having this right alongside the Gay Pride flag. Having more of us, people are outspoken artists within the community, owning being an American, owning the American flag, putting it up. Like right now, I don't know if I would put an American flag up. That's messed up. Maybe I will after this.
The reinvention of an inclusive America is a gigantic project.
reclaiming the flag is a piece of it. It has to be incorporated into our marches, into our protests. It has to appear not only at the Democratic Convention, not only in pride parades, but everywhere. There's no reason why we can't say that this symbol of America is our symbol too, instead of feeling like this is a thing we have to run away from. We can put it on the bumpers of our cars, we can put it on our own mailboxes, but we all have to do it. It can't be just a few of us. It has to be a reclaiming by the whole population of those of us who believe in an open and liberal world.
There's nobody coming to save you. We knew that. You got to be fierce enough. You got to do it. I hope that I'm able to love freely, unabashed, romantic that I am, believer in the principles of the Enlightenment, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. I'm holding you to account for that. I'm calling you to account, O flag. Now, the other side, this flag, you've got to have this with it. This is the future. Then there's this. Then there is this. And then there is this. And then there is this. The flag is the witness. Walk, walk, don't you get weary. Walk, walk, don't you get weary. Walk, walk, don't you get weary.